Hello, call for all. I'm Silvana Fumega, the project director of the Global Data Barometer. Let me start by saying that the goal of the barometer is to provide a new benchmark and essential data needed to drive a fuller understanding of state of data for development around the world. On May 11, 2022, the new Global Data Barometer, or GDB, launched the result of its first edition, and this was the culmination of the efforts of over 100 researchers and a network of regional hubs around the world. The design of the barometer builds on the previous editions of the Open Data Barometer, but takes a much broader look at data sharing and use for the public good, including giving additional attention to issues such as privacy and inclusion. The GDB draws on primary data from a global expert survey carried out in mid-2021 in 109 countries, which has been combined with secondary data from trusted sources to generate a range of metrics. The period taken into account is May 2019 to May 2021. Here are some of the numbers related to this first edition. As you can see there, 109 countries, 12 regional hubs, 6 thematic partners, 39 indicators, and more than 60,000 data points. Inside the reports and on the website, you also find information on more than 1,100 datasets, more than 900 frameworks, and more than 70 open data initiatives. This new global benchmark looks at data issues through 4 pillars that are governance, capability, availability, and the use and impact of data for public good. The 39 indicators fit these 4 pillars via 2 core modules, which assess data governance and capability throughout the country, and 7 thematic modules. 5 of them were developed in partnership with expert organizations. Those are public procurement, political integrity, company information, public finance, and land. And there are also 2 pressing issues that are health and COVID and climate action. And today, I want to briefly touch on the information available to explore data for climate action. The GDB findings focus on 3 indicators. Those are biodiversity, vulnerability, and emissions. The actions that governments and publics can take to mitigate and adapt to climate change are matters of vital importance around the world. Data can be a powerful tool for assessing climate action, as well as a means to expand the number of groups who can track and propose meaningful action in their own communities and organizations, and also hold governments accountable. In this context, although 73 countries included in the GDB provide emissions data, and 28 of them do so as open data, there is a significant variation in how this is provided, how timely the data is, and how detailed. In many cases, countries are reporting emissions data under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, but they are not providing access to this data for national citizens. This suggests that when international reporting standards are developed, consideration should also be given to recommendations for making data available at the national level, maximizing the value realized from data collection exercises. The data gaps are even larger when it comes to climate vulnerability data. In spite of the importance of localized data on climate vulnerability to support adaptation, just 53% of countries surveyed provided relevant data, 14 of them as open datasets. And the datasets that we were able to locate were notably weak on the provision of information about how vulnerabilities may affect marginalized populations. In terms of the biodiversity, 62% of countries provide information online, but this figure also hides notable variation in terms of the life forms represented in available data. For example, 60% of countries provide data on endangered birds and 58% cover mammals, but just 37% of them provide data on fungi and lichen. This comparative lack of attention to fungi, for example, is particularly notable given the vital role they play in ecosystems around the world, as well as serving as a significant global carbon sink. And I'd like to finish this brief comment and presentation by saying that nowadays there are 2 urgent matters affecting the world, that are climate action and COVID. However, the way in which data is produced and published related to these issues varies significantly. The global response to COVID-19 has shown that new data infrastructures can be built rapidly. Yet when it comes to climate data, there are significant and pressing gaps in the availability of emission, biodiversity, and climate vulnerability datasets. Data that should be available to support local action on combating and adapting to climate change is often only available in aggregated and out-of-date forms. Our evidence has the potential to support participatory action on improving climate data ecosystems by helping communities to identify and compare good practices. Once again, just to finish, I want to invite everybody to explore the data, to make use of it, and to share with us those results, as well as any feedback or comment regarding this particular module on climate action or any other module in this first edition. Once again, thank you, Code for All, for the space, and I welcome any comment and feedback.